We have more breaking news this morning. We've just learned that another individual has been indicted in the classified documents case against Donald Trump. Walt Nauta, who was the man in the red tie right there, who had been a White House aide and then followed Donald Trump to Mar-a-Lago. He has been indicted in this case as well. CNN's Evan Perez back with us with the details here. Evan.
That's right, John. Walt Nauta has been a figure, certainly, that has been central to this investigation. Prosecutors have allegedly been trying to pressure him, according to some of the lawyers in the Trump orbit. They've been pressuring him to try to flip, to try to turn against the former president. They say that he never did that. In recent days, Walt Nauta was actually seen at Bedminster alongside the former president, among a group of aides who have been there with him as he was waiting to hear whether Jack Smith was going to indict him. And now he's now facing charges. We do not know specifics of the charges that Nauta faced, but here's the deal. He was big. His involvement here looms very large for the former president. He is one of the people who allegedly was handling some of these documents, moved some of the boxes allegedly from the storage room. Again, this is part of what Jack Smith and his investigative team have been looking at for months. This is somebody who was very close to the former president. Began his job as a valet in the White House. As a guy who brought him his Diet Cokes, for instance, right? And then moved down to Mar-a-Lago when the former president left office, and he has been by his side. Again, somebody who witnessed a lot of the things that went on down there, and certainly was somebody that the Justice Department was keen to try to talk to and try to get information from. At this point, he's facing charges alongside his former boss.
We don't know the nature of the charges.
His current boss, right?
His current boss, right? Don't know the nature of the charges, but you could imagine them falling within the realm of what? Obstruction and or mishandling of national security documents. One might imagine it would be in that space, yes?
Right. Based on what certainly what the witness testimony was in this investigation, John, that appears to have been what the prosecutors were going at, with the idea that Nauta would have been part of a conspiracy to obstruct this investigation. Again, that's based on the witness testimony that was taken in this case. It was clear that that's what prosecutors were homing in on, and the suspicion was that Nauta, for whatever purpose and however he did it, that's the allegation was that he helped move boxes and in some way assisted the former president in trying to obstruct this investigation. Again, we're waiting to see details of this charge. Everything is still sealed in this case down in Florida.
And obviously the presence of a second person does lend itself to a conspiracy charge as well. Evan Perez, thank you for that reporting.
Joining us now, CNN senior analyst Elie Honig. One thing after another, this is another person we now know has been charged in this case. What might he be charged with? Literally taking boxes, we don't know yet, correct?
Yeah, we don't know exactly what he's been charged with, but let's remember who Walt Nauta is. He was Donald Trump's body man and valet. We know from the prior reporting in this case that he was interviewed by investigators, and he said that originally he gave a not fully accurate account. He said he didn't know anything about classified documents, he didn't have anything to do with documents. Well, it turned out he was captured on videotape moving documents, including into and out of that storage room. So the question is, what is he charged with? He might be charged with making a false statement based on his first statement. Now, could he be charged for moving the boxes? Not if he didn't know. So if he's charged with something to do with mishandling of documents, he has to have known that they were classified, that they were illegal for him to have. If he was unwitting, you can't charge him with that. Another question that I have is Walt Nauta charged in the same indictment as Donald Trump?
Why does that matter?
So here's why it matters. You can charge people either each in their own indictment, or you can charge 2, 3, 10 people in the same indictment. If he's charged in the same indictment as Donald Trump, then theoretically they're headed towards a trial together. Now, there's a way to separate them, but the default is they'll be tried together. If they're charged in separate indictments, then they're going to be on separate tracks.
If you're a prosecutor, does the presence of a second person in such a major case like this, how does it impact the bigger case?
Yeah, well, I think what I'm trying to do if I'm a prosecutor is flip Walt Nauta. Let's get that straight.
Are you still trying to do it even
Absolutely.
now with this indictment? Okay.
You're trying to do it with this
Yeah,
indictment
exactly.
because you can flip people pre-indictment. You can explain to them, if you don't come on board, you're facing this type of charge. But when you actually get hit with United States v. Walt Nauta,
Yeah.
that has a sobering effect. So he still has the opportunity, perhaps, if prosecutors are interested, if he's interested, we don't know, to cooperate, meaning to plead guilty to what they've charged him with and then testify. We don't know whether that's happening, but I'll tell you as a prosecutor, that's what I would be looking to do. And you always want to flip people up. You want to flip Walt Nauta against Donald Trump, certainly not the other way. That would be preposterous, the opposite.
The other new developments that we've learned just this hour, I want to ask you about Donald Trump announcing that he's going to be shaking up his legal team, Todd Blanche taking over, Jim Trusty and another resigning. Trusty, they put out a statement saying, now that the case has been filed in Miami, this is a logical moment for us to step aside and let others carry the cases through to completion. What do you think of that?
It's interesting. I'm pretty sure Todd Blanche lives here in New York. But I should say I used to work with Todd at the Southern District of New York. We overlapped for 5-6 years there and consider myself friends, professional colleagues. I'm not sure how much the Florida aspect of this matters, but I will say this. It wouldn't at all surprise me. It would be a smart move for Trump to get what we call local counsel, someone in Florida who knows the courts, who maybe can relate to a jury. Juries care about that kind of thing. And let me say this, Todd Blanche is not your typical flame-throwing, table-pounding Trump lawyer. He's smart, he's understated. He represents Trump in the Manhattan DA matter as well.
Ellie Honig, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Just to
Ellie.
catch our breath and bring people up to speed. In the last hour alone, we learned, number one, federal judge Trump appointee Eileen Cannon will oversee at least the initial part of this case. Number two, Trump has changed his legal representation, getting rid of the people we've seen on TV for the last several weeks, replacing him with Todd Blanche. And number three, there is a second individual charged in the classified documents case, Walt Nauta. We are following all these developments. They keep on coming in.